Hey, welcome back everybody to Northwest Small Batch Brewing. I'm Steven and welcome. I hope you're all having a great day. Today is the Smash Beer comparison test video. But before we get started, while you're here, it would really help me out if you take a look around, hit the like button on the video, and even more important to the channel is if you could hit the subscribe button. You can use the bell next to the subscribe button to adjust how it alerts you whenever I put out a new video. But that is what really helps the channel grow, so I appreciate that. So let's get going. I've already poured this one because it's on tap, so no bottle for that one. So I will go ahead and start these off here. So I've got my first one I made, which was about 4 months ago, and of course I'll put links to the videos down in the description for each one of these. So this is the 2-row right there, and this one should be, actually I've got these out of order from when I made them. This is the Munich. So the Munich one is next. Good head on that first one still, right? The 2-row. Not as much head on that one, but that's the Munich. Let's see if I can grab the label so I don't forget what's what. I mean, I shouldn't. I've got them in the order that I kind of made them in, but so this is the Vienna. Here's the Vienna. Sorry, I don't have perfectly clear glasses. These all have some sort of labeling thing on them. Maybe someday I can afford glasses just for use for my YouTube channels. But this is what I got, so. All right, so put a label here so I remember that one. This one, of course, is the Pilsner that I just made. And this one here, I'm going to start with because I should have tried to let you hear that. This is a 2-row, so this is the same as this one, but I did a little test because everybody kept saying that if you bottle your beer right from the keg and you don't purge it and don't use like a beer gun, and you keep it at room temperature, it's going to lose all its carbonation. Well, I'm pretty sure that's not true because I just heard it, to make that fizzy noise when you go to open it. So, and I don't know if you can see, but there's definitely carbonation in there. A little hazy, but otherwise it's the same. These two are the same. So let's give this a taste. So the 2-row Smash Beer. Well, let's look at the color first. So the lightest one really is this one here. This is the Pilsner. And then I'm surprised. I did not think the Vienna was this dark. The Munich is the darkest. Obviously, the Vienna is just slightly lighter, and then this one it would be probably the next lightest, the 2-row. So 2-row, these are the same. I'm smelling here. I can't remember what hops I use, but it sure smells like Citra. It's nice, fresh, smells good. The Munich, much more pale, like pale ale smelling, kind of more bitter smelling. Not bad though. Vienna, there's not much smell at all on that one. There's not much aroma on the Vienna. And then of course the Pilsner, I mean, I can't even explain it. It has aroma, but it's not entirely pleasant. Watch the Pilsner video if you want to see more comments I had on the smell and aroma and taste of how that one turned out. So let's just get to tasting. I don't want this video to be too long. Basically, I wanted to compare 4 of the big base malts because, we make beer all the time and we mix these malts with other malts and we don't really know, these are going to make up the majority of your beer, yet how many people have actually made beers only with each malt to see what it ends up tasting like in the end. I definitely have a clear favorite that I'll tell you about afterwards, but this is the pale 2-row. This is what I use most of the time. It is like I buy the big 55-pound bag of this stuff to save money, and I use it for almost every beer I make. By the way, So let's do this. This is the one that just sat on the counter, and I just refrigerated it. It definitely is carbonated. I'd say it's a little light on carbonation, but not any lighter than this. So it may just be that it, maybe it does start to lose carbonation after a period of time. So 4 months this sat from my keg. I bottled it. So as a secondary test to just looking at the different malts, how long can your beer stay carbonated when you just pull it off the keg and it's just forced carb from the keg and then you bottle it? Well, this is at 4 months, and I would say it's still carbonated. I can even see the bubbles, but it's pretty light. Any lighter than this, and it would be petulant. It would be just kind of like undercarbonated and actually have a negative effect. It's not bad, totally drinkable, but definitely the carbonation level has dropped. So if you're going to keg or bottle your beer right from the keg, I'd say try to drink it within a month, maybe 2 months max. But we'll see, because the next beer I made was the Munich right here. A little darker color. Again, I bottled this right from the keg, but I did keep it refrigerated the whole time. Oh, that's good. I really like that one. Totally different flavor, by the way. This is lighter. They both have a sort of pale ale flavor. This is definitely lighter. There's something about this one. It's just a darker, boy, I don't even know how to explain it, but it definitely has a deeper flavor to it. And it's not the hops. I'm talking about the grain. And as far as carbonation level, I mean, this would have been bottled off of my keg like 3 months ago. And yeah, it's a little low on carbonation as well. So again, 3 months is probably even too long then. Okay, Vienna. So the Vienna malt is, boy, if you look at these, I'm trying to see on the camera to see if you can see any difference color-wise. I'd say this one, the Vienna, is maybe a little darker, but not a lot from the two-row. Yeah, so the Vienna I just kegged. This would be month and a half that it was bottled off the keg. It definitely is a little fizzier, so it definitely has more carbonation. So I would say if you're going to bottle off of your keg, and you're not going to use any, like me, you're not going to use any kind of beer gun or anything to purge the oxygen. I'm finding that a month and a half is about max before the carbonation level noticeably drops. Yeah, so it's a good test, right? I mean, now you know. I'd like to do another test. I probably will do this on a future video, which is, I wonder what if you kegged your beer or bottled your beer off the keg and just put a tiny little pinch of yeast in it, right? I guess you'd have to put a tiny bit of sugar too. So a little bit of sugar, and actually you shouldn't really need yeast, but anyway, just a little bit of sugar maybe in it, and then put the cap on it and let it sit at room temperature until you're ready to drink it. So 2 weeks at least, obviously, and maybe that will kick up a little extra carbonation in there and eat up the oxygen. I'm going to try that, and we'll test that out on this channel. Next time I need to bottle something, I will give that a shot. Anyway, last one, probably the lightest colored one. This is the Pilsner, which is normally you make a Pilsner lager, but you can do an ale, as this is. Again, it smells, it's just not great. It doesn't smell great. The funny thing about it is it's creamy, way creamier than these other ones, and it doesn't have the same, the aroma that's on it, it's not in the flavor. I still don't care for the flavor that well, but it's not that it's an off flavor or that it's bad, it's just not really all that exciting. All right, so now that I've kind of told you what they smell like, and we've kind of discussed how long the carbonation can stay in the bottle when you take it off a keg. So in summary, and my favorites, I would say by far the Munich is my favorite base malt for flavor. So I will definitely in the future be looking at what I can make with Munich malt and whether or not it would warrant just buying a giant bag of Munich malt and just spending a lot of time, you know, diving into those kinds of beers. So that's something I'm definitely going to investigate. I'd say my second favorite is the 2-row, which is what I usually use. It's really neutral. I think it's a good base malt for just about anything. And then these two I've not been really excited about. It's a toss-up because the Vienna is just, I just don't like the flavor on it. It's, I don't know. It's just not, yeah, I don't care for it. It's a little bitter, like, anyway. And then the pilsner, again, was on the end of my least favorite. It tastes better than it smells, and it is a creamier flavor for some reason, like a creamier beer, which is really interesting and curious. Honestly, the flavor is so much better than the smell. And this was pressure fermented and temperature controlled, so I couldn't have really done anything different, you know, to ferment it more cleanly. Anyway, there you go. So the favorites, for me at least, are the 2-row and the Munich. And the other thing we've discovered is that if you're going to bottle beer directly off your keg and you're not using any kind of device to purge the oxygen out and fill from the bottom up, then you're probably going to get about a month to a month and a half of decent carbonation, and then it starts to piddle off. So if you're going to bottle it like that, like I do, it works great if you're going to drink the beer, you know, in the next month to a month and a half. Any longer than that, and you know, I don't have a like a beer gun or anything, so I don't know. I can't compare, personally at least, whether that would increase the length of time the carbonation stays in there. But it will be an interesting sort of experiment the next time I bottle something to see if I just throw a tiny bit of sugar, just a tiny little pinch of sugar, into the bottle with the beer, and then let it sit out for a couple of weeks, at least a couple of weeks. If that extends or even increases, you know, the carbonation level. So there we go. There you go. That's it. You've got it. You've made it to the end. There's nothing really more to discuss. So again, thanks for stopping by and watching my little video. And I hope you're brewing up something good. We'll see you again back here in a week. I do have another full brewing video. Wait, do I? No, no, I don't. Not yet. I'm starting one in the works. And if you've watched any of my prior videos, you'll already know what it is. But that'll be coming out as soon as the beer is ready to drink. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I will have another video on Monday. Not sure what it'll be yet. So you'll have to subscribe and check back and find out. Until then, happy brewing, and I'll see you soon.